Welcome to Well-Traveled Life with Jonathan and Jennifer. You are traveling with us through the Prince Rupert Sound up the Valdez Arm to the city of Valdez, Alaska. This sits in the heart of the Prince William Sound and is surrounded by some of the most beautiful scenery and landscapes in all of Alaska. But it's more than just that. It's a charming town with brew pubs and a beautiful glacial lake that we'll go out and kayak on. Valdez is a tender port, so you will need to give yourself time to get into port. But once you're there, you're right in town. We were able to walk from the ship directly to our kayak expedition office. We used Anadir Adventures, and Kyle was our guide. You will meet him in just a moment. They are a complete outfitter and will get you into boots that you wear instead of shoes, so bring socks. They will also fit you for rubber waders that go up to your chest, and you'll have a life vest. They also have gloves if you want them.
We operate out of Valdez, Alaska. We've been around since 1989, and we specialize in excursions around the Valdez Glacier Lake and Columbia Glacier. The Valdez Glacier incorporated a good portion of the area that is now known to Valdez about 100 years ago. And a cool fun fact is that when they built the town, the purpose was to climb the glacier to get to the interior of Alaska. So they built the town at the face of the glacier, which at the time was fine, but in 1964, when we had the big earthquake, all the glacial sediment that the town was built on went through what's called liquefaction, where it turned to like a liquid like mud, and the entire town slid off into the ocean.
So that's the backdrop, and this is the town that has been rebuilt. It really is a pretty charming town. The buildings are brightly colored, and people come here for extreme sports. Valdez is known for ice climbing, heli-skiing, and other extreme ways of experiencing both summer and winter here. This is also the southern terminus of the Alaska pipeline and the site of the 1989 Exxon Valdez oil spill. Seeing the Prince William Sound gives you an even greater sense of the immense nature of that environmental disaster. Less than 15 minutes out of town along the Richardson Highway, you will get to the Valdez Glacier Lake. The Valdez Glacier sits at the far end of the lake and isn't visible from the entrance to the lake, but we were able to kayak over to it and then hike up to a viewpoint where we could see the glacier. When we arrived at the lake, we were really heavily outfitted, but awed by the beauty of the color of the water and those icebergs sitting out in the middle of it. We were so fortunate to have a warm, sunny day, but there's a fair amount of wind on the water, and that ice is creating microclimates where you will get really cold temperatures, and when those combine with the warm air from above, you get these really big squalls of wind. We were on inflatable sit-on-top kayaks, which were super comfortable, very steady. We never felt in danger of falling over or falling in, but you are likely to get splashed. So we were so glad to have the rubber waders and the boots and that sort of thing. In the winter, this lake completely freezes over, and it is used for ice skating and ice climbing. But during the summer, while it's melted, it is still in the 30s. We were in a small group of paddlers with just 6 of us and our guide, so only 4 boats. There was another group that had gone out to a completely separate part of the lake, and we felt very private, really had the freedom to go sort of where we wanted to go and do what we wanted to do. So we did a lot of exploring around the icebergs, although we did follow the guide to get to the hiking spot. We paddled out towards the mouth of the glacier, and were able to get fairly far, but had to stop once the ice became a little more solid and we weren't able to cross the lake anymore. At that point, we went ahead and parked the boats and started the climb. Again, because we had rubber boots and waders, we were able to cross little streams going into the lake and walk in the water. Although this lake is over 640 feet deep and often starts at sheer cliff edges, so you don't want to get too close to the water. It was a little bit steep, and it's on that really rocky, slaggy, glacial silt. So it was a little bit slippery, and we were in those rubber boots. The path was narrow. They had put up some ropes for us to help kind of steady and help us climb, which did help us get up the steepest parts. But once we got to the top, the views were so worth it. We could see all the way to the mouth of the glacier. Oh my God, look at this. Okay. Wow. Look at this. At the top, we settled in for snacks of granola bars and hot tea or hot chocolate and just enjoyed the views. After snacks, we headed back down the trail. I'm not sure going down was any easier than coming up, but we found that we could do it on our backsides. And don't forget, the whole way down, you're getting those same gorgeous views. Back out on the water, we paddled back around to another part of the lake and continued to explore this dynamic ice structure and ice type that you see floating in this lake. each of these glacier colors means something. So the dark, silty, rocky ice is bringing land with it, and it might be kind of old. The blue ice is the newest, the youngest, the darkest, the most compact ice. And when it first falls, when it first calves, it will have that dark blue color. Let's first talk about glacial ice and how it's formed. It is snow upon snow upon snow that continues to compact and harden and deepen. And let's talk about light. White light, which is sunlight, is made up of 7 different colors, and they all have varying wavelengths. Red has a relatively long wavelength, and blue has a short wavelength. This ice is so dense, the red is actually absorbed and it doesn't reflect back out. The blue light is scattered in these deep, dense crystals, and so that's what's reflected back to your eye. So you see all of the short blue and not any of that red. So when you see blue ice in a glacier, you should just be thinking dense ice, which is heavily compacted and crystallized and doesn't have very much air in it. And that dark blue ice indicates that it's recently calved from the mother berg or the glacier. They consider that the most unsafe ice, the most dangerous ice, because it is still moving. At the end of the day of hiking and paddling, we took our worn-out bodies back into town, past these incredible views in the Prince William Sound, and did a bit of wandering around the city of Valdez. This is a really quaint town, and we were so excited to find that there are 2 breweries on the same street, and we visited both.
No, I was literally thinking as I was taking that is just how incredibly tired I am from the kayaking. Took a lot out of me. My back kind of tightened up.
Yeah.
But we were in tandem kayaks, and I'm with one of the strongest kayakers in the world. It was in front.
Cutie.
She got us back. That was a lot of fun.
All
right.
Hey,
so,
and it was, have you ever seen anything that beautiful up close like that?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, in other parts of Alaska where we've been walking along glaciers, a little bit of that.
A little bit, not.
But it was like the
that.
picture I had in my head.
Yeah.
We're out hiking and all these.
It's like when I go to Mendenhall Glacier and I always want to go swimming or kayaking. I got to do it, and I have to say these icebergs, and it was as spectacular.
I know you didn't go swimming today.
I know. He told me not to.
You did?
Yeah.
I heard it, but I think we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
I think if we had sat there for a while, you would have.
I would have.
All right, I got it.
We hope that you'll join us for our beer tasting in both the Valdez Brewing Company and the Growler Bay Brewing Company. I'm not sure. We're waiting. Yeah.